Yo, 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 yo. Is anybody saying Officer Tatum? Well, we need to hear from Officer Tatum for the next 24 hours, man. Next 12 hours. Fuck, nah, 24 hours. Because he's already had 12. So we're going to give him another 12 hours. So Officer Tatum decides he wanted to go to bat for these kids when it came down to the investigation into Nolan Wells' death. Yo, this is why I be telling y'all, yo, black sellouts.
Like a different part of the world.
I keep telling y'all, black sellouts is the biggest problem in the black community, y'all. We gotta find a way to eradicate these niggas, man. I'm trying to tell you. Gotta find a way to eradicate the black sellout. Them guys are dangerous, man. So Officer Tatum, a couple days ago, yeah, he's a fuck boy, man. He takes to Instagram like he got some late breaking news or something. You heard me talking about, I got some shit that's gonna break the internet. And all it was him talking to these kids, who at this point looks like lied to him, straight up. Look like they lied to him, man. What the fuck is that shit at?
Black people. I know that people who
Look
are
at
new to
this
my
nigga.
channel and you see people out there making these videos, it's comical to me because I don't understand how accountability leads to hate. I want.
Every guy got the call this. He one of the main ones, right? They got white people thinking that black people don't take accountability. He one of the main ones, y'all. That's why he's a danger. Like a lot of them racist white people, yo, that be commenting, they watch Officer Tatum. You know, that's where they get their perspective from. A nigga that's grifting. You heard me. His sole purpose online is just to, it's a lane. It's a lane for black hate. And he fills that void. He fills that void, yo. He's one of the ones that's helping to, fracture the relationship between blacks and whites in America. But he presents it like he's like that's not what he's doing. Yeah, so he presents it though like that's not what he doing, yeah, but that's exactly what he doing. Man, what it is. Yeah, I am. That's what made me. I stayed out of that. No, I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? And if you've been over here, you already know. Yo, whenever a story get like big like that, and then everybody just start throwing their opinion on it, I normally stay out that shit, yo. Cause a lot of times in that phase, it's a whole bunch of misinformation. You feel me? It's a whole bunch of misinformation, so I don't really like reporting misinformation. So I stay out of it until I see something that's concrete. You feel me? And that's what brings me here today. Because this audio they got released says it all. Says it all. It's obvious it's a cover up in the death of Nolan Wells. And this call to this boating company is icing on the cake, and they tried to hide it. They tried to play elevator music to drown out the obvious distress that these kids was in when they called for help on that boat. I'm thinking it was a fight on that boat. I'm thinking it was a fight on that boat with Nolan Wells and whoever else. And I don't know how he ended up dying. Must have hit his head. I think I think that justifies the red markings that Nancy Grace and everybody been talking about. And they tried to hide it. And you can tell early on in that 911 call that they tried to hide it. They didn't know they were still being recorded. Because if you notice, all the chatter in the background, once the 911 operator started speaking, all the chatter in the background stopped. But before she started speaking, when they tried to, play the elevator music, you can hear everything that's the fuck going on, man. You hear everything. But listen to this fucking clown.
People to be accountable. And anybody with a connected brainstem that's fair and reasonable and can accept accountability understands that I'm not talking about every black person. Clearly, I'm black. I have a whole bunch of black people that love me and follow me on social media, which
you got a whole bunch of sellouts. Yo, there's not a group of people in this world more accountable than American black people, man. Like, yo, it's a shame that we even allowed that to even become a narrative where there's questioning our accountability. Yeah, I can't wait to White on White Crime Month. Because I'm going to show y'all some unaccountable people. I'm trying to tell you. Show y'all situations, yo, that we will never be in. Or not never be in. But when we are in them situations, we ain't got no choice but to be accountable. But for somehow, some way, or they didn't trick the world into believing that we are the unaccountable ones. Or the ones that take less accountability. Yo, but we be blamed and take accountability for shit that ain't even in our control. But you got guys like him, who's black, obviously, at least on the outside. You understand? He was able to garner a whole support system of what you want to call conservative, racist whites. And y'all know I always tell y'all, people don't want the truth. People just want to be reaffirmed. You understand? People just want somebody that's gonna say what they scared to say, but they already believe. And that's where Tatum comes in. He makes money by telling white people that they ain't wrong. You ain't wrong for being racist. You're not wrong for being scared. You ain't wrong for, you ain't wrong for none of that. And the crazy thing about it, right? A lot of these guys that follow him think they are highly intelligent. Yo, but you can't be highly intelligent following this guy because he's a fucking bozo. He's a bozo. He couldn't sit in front of me and have no conversation at all about the issues in the black community. And it makes sense. I'm talking about I barbecue him. His whole support system to be like, dang, we followed you all this time. This nigga's stupid. You heard me? But, so he did these interviews.
cooked. We are. Benjamin Crump, you gonna mess around and make me follow you everywhere I see a press conference. I was just scrolling online and I saw Ben Crump grifting again in Madison. We gonna fly out to Madison. Let me tell you what I saw. Didn't see him at the press conference initially. I see a mother crying. My son didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve to be killed this way. I should have been buried before my son. I almost shed a tear. Then I looked in the background. I said, Benjamin Crump is there. And that is a press conference from today. He flew from Mississippi there. And then I said, just because Benjamin Crump there don't mean that it's a scam. Then I said, let me go look it up. Corey Ruiz. I said, let me look up Corey Ruiz. Oh, this is the shooting.
No. He right about Ben Crump. We ain't never gonna co-sign Ben Crump. I'm mad the family even, got with y'all. But they got a case, especially after that audio got released.
Where this guy pulled a knife and stabbed the police officer and they shot him. What are we saying here? Then I looked at his criminal record: strangulation, robbery, assault, assault on a police officer causing physical injury. This a few priors. And cooked. We are cooked as a society. It is y'all, the last several weeks have been the craziest time of my life.
Yo, one of the reasons why it's so much pushback, yo, when we are calling out obvious injustices with this system is because we got guys like him who got a huge following. You know, him and what's the Peterson dude? You know, those guys are detrimental, man. They detrimental. Like, we got so many sellouts. We got the sellouts like him, who is obvious he took a side. Then you got the sellouts that you don't even really know they sellouts, you know, because they speak on black issues. They always at the forefront of black issues, but the reason you know they sellouts is because they don't speak on the real issues. You know, the real issues that can create change. They stay away from them. They only cover police brutality and shit like that. They don't really cover the day-to-day issues in the black community. But this is what we got. This is what we dealing with. This is what we fighting against. You know? And that's what I mean by I say they're attacking us on all angles. Because he's an obvious sellout. But then you got the ones like a Charleston White, who was a sellout from the beginning, but he was able to manipulate people into believing that he wasn't. It's a lot going on, y'all.
When it comes to how cooked America is, maybe online cooked. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but my God, people are deranged. They are out of their minds, bro. What are we even talking about at this point? Let me tell you how silly and deranged people are. When you look at the Charlie Kirk case and you look at the Nolan Wells case, people are absolutely cooked. Let me tell you why. In a situation where a person confessed to a crime, text confessions, parents turned him in, and they identified him as a suspect. He texted his lover that he's a suspect. He texted Discord channel he's a suspect. His DNA is all over the weapons. All of that.
Yo, so you see what type of time he on. This is a guy that was brought on the internet to run with the narrative. Yo, I always tell y'all, you gotta watch them guys that never stray away from the narrative. They never stray away. Whatever mainstream is pushing, that's what they on. You gotta watch them motherfuckers, man. So he conducted these interviews with these guys.
This infamous picture that I've seen online.
So they used him, right? Because he's a dumbass and he's a fuckboy. They used him, a blackface. Like, yo, this is the real blackface that we fuck that other shit. This is blackface right here, y'all. This right here should be racism. You heard me? Like, this is what you should call racism, yo. This is real blackface. Not the shit, not the mask. You know, this is the real blackface. A nigga that look like both his parents may be black. But he don't side with black people on nothing. Nothing. So he allowed these kids to use this platform to push an obvious lie. Obvious. Yo, it's a shame that whenever one of our kids is hanging with white kids and something happens, yo, it's always some type of cover up. Always. Like, yo, it can never be an open and honest investigation. It always gotta be some type of cover up, or it's like they want to create a narrative that white people can kill black people without no consequences. You know, because why is it so hard to get justice in these type of circumstances? They lock us up for killing us all the time. You feel me? Like, yo, yo, for the most part, yo, when you outside in the streets, yo, you know good and goddamn well if you kill somebody white, yo, you going to prison for that shit. They gonna investigate that motherfucker too. Ain't no investigate left. That shit gonna end in indictments. Versus when you do something to one of ours, chances are, depending on the person, shit, they might not even investigate that shit, man. You feel me? But that's the narrative they created by these type of situations. You know, this is something that's been going on for decades. This ain't new. Where the suspects or alleged suspects are white and the victim is black, and it's always a tug of war with justice. Always, man. So they use this guy to interview these motherfucking kids so they could push a false narrative only to feed the minds of the people that already believe it. That's why he's so dangerous, yo. That's why guys like him are in the way when it comes down to just peace in America. Let's just call it that, between races. He in the way. Instead of him being honest and say, yo, this country got some issues, yo. This country, you know, got some systematic racism in it. You feel me? It's harder for black people. Instead of just being real, because that is the real, and this stats and data to back it up, he want to go to the opposite and say, no, everything is y'all fault. You lack accountability. Yo, but we have seen, y'all have never seen, let me tell y'all what I seen on the internet. I seen Jewish people, you know, spray paint swastikas in the neighborhood. Gets investigated as a hate crime and kind of find out they was Jewish. The people that did it was Jewish. I seen white people cause a disturbance, and when the police come, they break down in tears. I don't see that from black people, man. Maybe, you know, I don't. I never seen a situation from black people where they create a disturbance, police get called, and then they play victim. Yo, that is playing victim. We don't do that shit. Well, we calling out obvious mistreatment by the United States and the government over here. Obvious mistreatment in housing. Obvious mistreatment in motherfucking police interactions, or, you know, conduct. You know, how they interact with the community. Obvious mistreatment. That's not being a victim, yo. That's just telling the fucking truth. He probably is. I'm pretty sure he is, man. How long he been on the internet? I told y'all, yo, they jumped out on the internet early with their guys, man. Early. Yeah, man, a lot of them early people that was on the internet that said a million. Man, you don't know who them people is, man. They rolled them out immediately. I told y'all, go back to, what's it called, man? What the fuck the boy name is? Edward Snowden, man. Edward Snowden told us. Edward Snowden, yo, in 2008, when the internet first started taking off, the federal government got in position. They got in position. And I told y'all the reason they got in position is because this was the new media. You can't stop it. The world is heading this way. But you gotta have people in place to control the narrative. That is important, y'all. In any country, controlling the narrative is important. Why you think they killed journalists in Russia and China and shit like that? North Korea. It's about controlling the narrative, man. So America don't go that route, you know, on out, you know, openly. So what they do is, it's the same concept. Instead of them just killing journalists, they make them and make them the face. That way, we still control the message, and y'all think y'all getting somebody that's organic. That's the game plan, man.
Of Nolan in the water in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Where is this picture associated with? Because you said you guys went back to swim. Nolan wasn't with you.
Yeah.
So where's this picture at? Like,
Right.
what is it? What's the context around that picture that's been floating?
That picture is taken on June 27th, a week before
Hey,
the 4th of July. We all went to a friend of ours in Pass Christian. We have a lot of friends from Bay St. Louis,
Madam
Pass Christian. We all went over
553,
there to
right.
hang out. And, you know,
And Nolan was in that picture.
Nolan was in that picture. And if you look in the picture, my arm is around Nolan in that picture, you know? And, I mean, that was a week before the 4th of July. So That picture is not associated within even the same. I mean, that was like a week before. So
Yo, so I just was watching this interview, right? And I'm gonna show you something that stuck out to me. This same kid, I think his mother is the judge, talked about before they got on. $50 the same day. He talked about before they got on this boat, it was a fight. Now, me knowing kids, right? Me knowing kids. You know, I think we all was kids at one point. That didn't just end there. It didn't just end there, y'all. You know, it was a disturbance before they got on the boat. And when they got on the boat, the disturbance continued. Probably with a different group of kids. Because that's how kids operate. Especially when you're talking about alcohol is involved.
And requested. Download Grand Cash Advance from the App Store today.
The bad thing about it is it fuck around never come out. Even with this audio.
no, we never did.
All right, so I have.
And everybody has their phone, yes, but it's always on the boat. No, Triton, and the Triton had probably about 6 inches of water up to the transom, and I was freaked out because I'm good friends with Wyatt, and that was his boat, and you know, no water's coming out, no access water's coming out, and you know, it was a big issue because I think the reason was because there were so many people getting on and off the boat, and at some point the boat was very, very crowded, and there was just a lot of people on, so it drags water in, and eventually, I think over time we were out there for a couple hours, the boat just started filling up with water. So I popped the starboard side hatch, and the battery was completely underwater, and so the motor wouldn't trim down. I mean, my buddy would go to trim it down from the console, and it'd trim down, and then it'd come right back up. And so Wyatt's trying to throw a rear anchor, so we're caught, and he's, you know, yelling at people. Everybody's kind of freaking out, and eventually I'm like yelling at other people, trying to tell them, you know, calm down, like, you know, the boat could possibly sink, you know, and I'm not paying attention to everyone around me. I was paying attention to my buddy's boat, and that's what all my other friends that were on that boat were doing, trying to solve the problem.
So you're on the boat now, the water is getting up to the point where the boat may be disabled to where you couldn't get it out.
Correct.
From Horn Island. So what happens after that?
Wyatt jumps in the water, tries to throw a rear anchor, and my buddy and I are, you know, sitting, looking and trying to pull trash out the bilge. And the bilge is basically a pump that pulls the water, the excess water out the boat. So the bilge was failing to work. So any excess water was just sitting in the boat. It wasn't getting pumped out. And I looked over the gunnel, and I looked at the release hole for the bilge, and it was even with the water. So, I mean, we're all freaking out. All of our, you know, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well, then, eventually, my buddy Bart on the tide line is like, I'm going to pull y'all out to where we're out of all this, you know, all this chaos. Because we left at 4:30, and there were still just as many people there, if not more, than when we got there. I mean, probably around the same amount. I mean, it was crazy. Like, there was a lot of people. And, I mean, eventually, Bart pulls us out. You know, we left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out, and we had the towing strap pulled from, you know, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat, and he was on our starboard side bow, and so he was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated. So that's when Wyatt called Cito, and Wyatt was like, you know, calls him, because the cell service isn't great at the island, but once you can use your phone, but stuff might not just send, and like, I mean, it's not great. You know, you got maybe one bar, it won't work that well. But once you get a little off the island, you have cell coverage, and even on the island, like I called my mom when we were on the island, you know, it was fine. Like we had.
Trying to get to the point.
On the go. Yeah. I mean, were people taking their phones off the boat, or is that not typical? Because I know that Nolan's phone was left on the boat,
Right.
Even though, you know, after you guys had left. So can you explain that? Because I think people need to understand this a little clearer.
Yeah.
Was it typical for people to have their phones left on boats, or did they keep their phones in the water? Or?
Yeah. I mean, everybody kind of goes out to the island to get away from, you know, their phones and everything else. I know I got on the boat to get away from just the regular world. And no, when you're waist deep in water, no one's carrying their phone in their hand. Especially at Horn Island, the water has been very, very murky because of the rain. And when it's just very risky. If you're gonna have your phone in the water, some people might for a couple minutes and like maybe taking some pictures of each other. I know a lot of girls like to take pictures in the water at Horn Island. Guys do too. Like people like to take pictures, and but a lot of the pictures you see are on the boat for a reason. And so,
Really tough.
no, I mean, if someone is on their phone in the water, they're using it real quick and then putting it right back on the boat. We were all waist deep in water. No one's sitting there scrolling on their phone. I never saw that once. And I've never seen that once. And I've been out the Highland my whole life. I mean, that's just not something people do. People aren't on their phones. And everybody has their phone, yes, but it's always on the boat. No one's getting off the boat with their phone. So.
And so you guys get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out.
Yeah.
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms, Katie. Katie. And Katie.
Now Katie refutes this part of the story. Katie refutes this. But this is the part I want y'all to listen to. I think this is the part anyway. He's going to discuss that there was a fight before they boarded this boat. It was a fight. I think it was a fight on the boat too, right?
In there, and the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing, and I was like, "Dude, you crazy?" I was like just joking with him, and but anyway, Nolan. That was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving, obviously, no one is getting left at the island that came with us unless they demanded to, be there and asked. This is a very common thing at Horn Island. When you're out there, a lot of people ride out there with someone and in with somebody else all the time. I've done that 100 times. It's a very common thing, but Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. I'm going to ride it with somebody else. And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times to get on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat. Get on the boat. We're leaving. If you're coming, you got to come now. And Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island. And like he said,
How many people heard that?
At least 5. Everyone that was on our boat right there, because the Palm Beach had already left. My buddy went ahead and went home on the Palm Beach, and 3 guys on the way back. And Nolan wasn't the only person to ride out there with us and in with somebody else. We had multiple people in our group that rode out with us and rode in on someone else's boat. And that, like I said, that's not an uncommon thing to do. A lot of people do that. I could name probably 50 people out there that day that ran out with somebody and ran back in with somebody else. So it's not like it's an uncommon thing.
Ain't lying,
but it's not like we just left him there, or my friends just left him there. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island after my friends asked him multiple times and told him to get on the boat, and he decided to stay.
And I heard the girl that he was with, Katie, had texted somebody that she heard people yelling
Correct.
for Nolan to get on it.
Yeah, and I have a picture of that. She texted my buddy, and the next day everybody was panicking, and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat. And she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to.
Yeah, and so you guys get in the boat, you start to get towed in, and you make it back. Now explain how did you get to the point where you were concerned about Nolan? Because obviously you said, hey, Nolan, y'all need to, or somebody, not
when
you,
did I get to that point?
You guys had may mentioned Nolan need to get on a boat.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah.
You guys get back to wherever you're going.
Right.
Explain that. Did you guys go back to somebody's house, or you guys like what happened there? And then when did you feel like, well, wait a minute, where's Nolan?
Right. Okay. Well, running in was very chaotic. Nolan chose to stay on the island, so my focus wasn't on anything else other than the boat. Because if the boat doesn't get in, then no one gets in. I don't want to stick out there on my buddy's boat, and no one does. But my buddy Wyatt jumped out and pulled the plug on the boat once we kind of got out there, because he got the motor to trim down. And the motor trimmed down, my buddy Wyatt pulled the plug, and we planed off. We moved all the way to the front of the boat so we could plane off. And eventually we planed off, and the boat was running. So when you're planed off and you have water in the boat and you're hauling, we're going pretty fast. We're going probably 40, 42 miles an hour. And so all that excess water that was built up in the boat is coming out of the boat. So, that's what we had to do. So we ran into Fort Bayou, And we didn't just run straight to my buddy's grandparents' house. We ran into Fort Bayou. A couple of us jumped in the water, and Wyatt, like the whole reason for the stop was so Wyatt could hop in and put the plug back in the boat. So then after that, we went and docked it, and I went back to my buddy's house, and we ate and napped for a little bit. It was a long day at the island, so we were all tired, and
I must have missed the part. But he was talking about that his little brother got into a fight before they got on. Before when they was docking back, before they docked back, his little brother got into a fight. I think that fight ensued once it got calmed down, and they got on that boat. I think that fight ensued, man. Probably between Nolan and some other group of kids. And I think that's when the situation happened. Cause kids ain't just gonna fight and they calm down like that. That's not how kids operate. You know what I mean? That ain't how kids operate. But so this boat operator call got released.
Yo, you want me to talk about the backpacks, but I think it's backpacks. I'm
Now
just
listen
not
to
sure.
this. Yo, they tried to play elevator music to hide the confusion in the beginning. Just listen to this, y'all.
Reporting live from my Club, Fight Plus News, I'm John Alba. Breaking news coming out
Exactly,
of Mississippi. A little
Grand
over 20
Island.
days after Nolan Wells' disappearance and death, there now appears to be a major break in the case that the public is finally hearing. Yesterday, we will release an extended version of the audio call his friends would make to the Cito company when they alleged they were having issues with their boat and was sinking.
Okay,
How many adults on board?
There's 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
Alright.
here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question.
Now, this version we shared originally obtained by TMZ would only capture when you first
Right,
hear the
whoa.
driver of the boat speak with the operator. Now, late Saturday night, local outlet WLOX would go on to release a completely unedited version of the call provided by the Mississippi Department of Maritime Resources. And in the first few seconds appears for some that not only Wells was on the boat with his friends when they left Horn Island, that he also appeared to have passed away amongst them. At the top of the call, while hold music played, you can hear panic from an unidentified young woman who appears to say Nolan, followed by, "Oh my God." Now, as the driver of the boat tries to explain the situation regarding the boat itself, you would then hear a male voice in the background seemingly yell, "Wake up, wake the F up."
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
Now, of course, due to the conversations in the background not taking place a part of the actual call, the way some are hearing this could be challenged by those who choose not to see it that way. Now, as an attempt to better make out the background chaos, we will remove the hold music at the beginning in an edited version.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
Now, to note, we as well personally can't help but to hear what many are now picking up as Wells' potential's final moments now that this version of the tow call has been released. Now, for some, as the call continued, there appeared to be other questionable moments in the background for listeners, as the boat driver, identified as Wyatt Pyron, continued to speak with the operator. Like at the end of the call, when you would hear the called Cito captain express that he got a direct call from the grandfather Pyron, who would tell him that a tow was no longer needed. This for some would be the beginning of a cover-up to minimize witnesses.
Hi, Captain Seth. This is Vicky from International. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I don't think they was sinking either because In the call, she asked him, "Do you want me to send the Coast Guard?" He said, "No, no, no, no. We don't need the Coast Guard. Why you don't need? If you sinking, why not? Why you don't need the Coast Guard? You just need to be towed back." Some bullshit happened on this boat, man, and it's just sad, yo, because I don't think nothing's gonna come out of it.
At a time, I really do. You're going to have a fee for service come up under Jerry.
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking, and he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate. He's just a kid. There's a lot going on. So
Right.
he said there's about a lot of people on board. He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Do you know what kind of boat it is?
He said I have a Triton 24 footer, but that's all he can give me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just actually got off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat. And
Is it
he
Jerry?
said that yeah, Jerry, yeah. He said,
Okay.
I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back. So I'm guessing that they
No,
make...
but know what this goes into? Know what this goes into? No snitch rule. Now this is a group of white kids that ain't telling. Now if these is black kids, y'all know the narratives that have been running all over the internet. Everybody trying to uphold these street rules and this and that. This is a group of white kids where obviously a crime have taken place and nobody's saying nothing. Where's the narrative? Where's the street element? Why I'm not hearing so many people talk about this some street shit? They quiet. Nobody knows nothing. Nobody's saying nothing. They always there. That this would have been a group of black kids though. I can just imagine what would be said online.
They have figured it out? Because that's what he said. So they're in a panic and their boat won't crank.
Yeah, they're in a panic.
Since the beginning of this case, many have questioned Wells' friend's story, as many things appeared inconsistent throughout, and those online will call out the entire situation as being a cover-up of the death of another black teen in Mississippi. So what happens next? Given that this call is now officially 22 days old, we're certain the local officials and investigators have examined it by now. And given that agencies like the FBI are involved, we can also be certain that they have the resources to completely clean distorted audio with specialized forensic audio tools that can isolate speech. Now, according to reports, the FBI has perfected this ability since the 1960s as a way to improve distorted speech from wiretaps, 911 calls, and covert body wires. Now, when what we unveiled is the case, and we all have now witnessed that Nolan was back on the boat that day where he potentially lost his life, many individuals can now face consequences, like all of his friends who were on the boat that never gave Wells' family and authorities the truth and potentially helped get rid of his body. The stepmother of Warren Hudson, Judge Ashley Cole, who would push potential false statements. The grandfather, Wyatt Pyron, who looks to have helped his grandson avoid serious consequences. The adults who supplied the teens with alcohol, causing them...
Now look.
Hey, you done at 6?
No, I'm done at 9.
Oh, you done at 9? See, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I don't know what fucking truck they got me in.
Is it any extra truck down this motherfucker?
No.
I need to call dispatch.
Because he said Greg brought that back and jumped in another
I
truck.
can leave at 6 if they want me to. That's it. If they want you to take my truck, I'll leave at 6. Showed up, I ain't playing. The fuck about
I
it.
hate when they fucking do this, man.
Tell them, I'll leave at 6. I think I left at 6 before for you to get a truck.
Yeah, because I don't know why fucking Greg would just drop that off. Because that's on his way home.
He took the key?
Yeah.
Hey, dumb question. What truck am I in tonight?
Yeah. I figured this question was gonna arise shortly.
Yeah, because Greg came down, and I guess he left this one with 2 cars on it and then jumped in another truck and left.
Okay. truck.
Yeah, it looked like he got two co-parts there. And I mean, I don't understand if he's driving that back. I mean, that's back towards his house, you know what I mean?
Man, you know that, man. They the poor dog stats, man. Everybody would have got arrested until they figured out the truth.
I don't think he will.
Before I
No, he's in the black KW. I think he's just bringing that to the back, go-karts back to the shop.
Anytime you can take my truck.
Does he have to turn on too? He's on, I'm gonna fuck this up real bad. Ingomar?
Ingomar, yeah. Ingomar is
Yeah,
what I
he's on
said.
that, yeah, he's on that road, right up the road, it looks like. Right before Perry Highway, right before 19.
Gotcha, so he's picking up a co-part.
Yeah, he's picking up another co-part.
So this,
And I'm assuming, yeah, he might be just dropping that truck off with the co-karts on it, but went to go grab more to unload there.
Gotcha, okay, alright, yeah, I just wanted to clarify, that's all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're good, man. I got you.
Alright, appreciate it.
Alright, thank you.
Alright, bye-bye.
so what you driving?
When Greg gets back, he's at Copart, he's picking up some more, and then
Alright.
when he gets back, he's gonna take that, I'm taking the truck he's in.
Oh, okay. God damn it. So
I tell you this, out of your truck and these other trucks, I prefer to drive the Kenworth.
Yeah.
That's number one right there. But your truck, man, is way faster than these other. Even though they're both international, your truck is way faster than these ones.
For real.
It gets up and goes. That motherfucker goes. Ugh. And I like your bet on that more than I like that one. I don't like that fucking button they got on there.
Yeah, I don't like that shit either. Somebody took my fucking straps. I only got one strap on that motherfucker.
I didn't touch any. I have my own straps.
No, I think it was somebody from Greenville.
That's a shame because every time these trucks go up there, they clean them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad, motherfucker.
Oh, there it is. Oh, man, get back in here. All right, so this lady, she said this type of work she do, like she clean up audio. But I want to hear from Officer Tatum, man. Like, what you have to say? All you gonna do is deny it. Start talking about delusion. Like, yo, these guys, yo, these people, yo, they something else. I'm telling you, they'll put out false information, get caught, and still stand on it. Like, don't retract nothing. So this woman right here broke down the audio as well.
Play this, I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup, sound design, and post-production, I decided to work on that CTO call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than...
Make sure y'all new to the channel, make sure y'all subscribe, man. You know, we're going to keep it all the way real over here.
Relying
uncut,
on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter dialogue and background audio easier to hear. So I basically used techniques such as subtractive EQ, compression, gain adjustments, noise frequency, noise reduction, frequency isolation, and other traditional processing methods. So what I did was I separated Vicky, the CTO dispatcher, from Warren and the audio originating from the boat so that I can concentrate more closely on what was happening behind and around Warren, pretty much on the boat. And I specifically chose not to rely on AI because aggressive AI enhancements and voice isolation tools can sometimes introduce artifacts and distort the speech or create ambiguity around the sounds that were originally present. And for something this serious, I wanted my processing to remain as conservative as possible. You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely, and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here. You'll also notice that my time code may not match the regular timestamp on the original uploaded video. And that's because I'm working inside a professional post-production timeline, digital audio workstation, basically using SMPTE time code, which in film, that's displayed in hours, minutes,
All right,
seconds,
lady.
and
Goddamn,
frames.
get to the point.
Film and TV timelines are completely different from timestamps that you see. Most, to me, occur very early in the call, like right at the top of the call. And so I'm gonna let the audio play. Read my transcription if you want a reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear. I want you to listen first, listen again, compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears. I hope this breakdown helps. And my
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Okay, so before
Yeah,
I
he
play
did.
this,
He did. Yo, her audio was good. That's the clearest I heard it.
Y'all please come. We have a Horn, west tip of Horn.
play. Read my transcription if you want a reference, but don't allow it to determine what you hear. I want you to listen first, listen again.
Somebody did it better than her?
Compare it with the original recording, and then judge it with your own ears.
Listen to that shit.
I hope this breakdown helps. And my
Yeah, I thought about that.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Okay, so before I play this, I want
So Bart did it. You know what I mean? Fucking case closed. You feel me? Damn it, Bart. It sounds like to me, Nolan must have got into it with Bart. I think that was clear, y'all. I ain't heard it clearer than that. But let's see what Officer Tatum does. Let's see what, and it's crazy because like the dude said in the last video we watched, they had this audio for what, 22 days. The fuck is they waiting for? This shit probably got leaked. They probably didn't even want to put it out. Somebody probably heard it and leaked the bitch. Yo, I ain't never heard 911 music with elevator. I never heard a 911 audio with elevator music in it. Never heard it. What's up, cuz? You said AI did it. Somebody did it, but AI did it better. Yeah, he gonna stay quiet. He's a bitch. That's what bitch ass people like him do. Gonna let them people use him, man. He's a fuck boy. See what the problem is? Ain't nobody gonna hold him accountable. It should be a whole bunch of videos. Officer Tatum, we need an upload immediately. 12 hours. It's 9 hours, 11 hours now. Time running out. We need to hear from you, man. You went out there and interviewed these kids, let them lie to you to your face about everything that went on. Now we got audio that seems, to me, it backs a cover up. So what the fuck you doing now? But, you know, his role isn't to really be truthful. Like I told y'all, his role on this internet is to create separation. You know, continue to divide. Whenever we have one of these issues, he got to side. He got to side with white people. He got to. I don't know. He probably is coming on. But he got to side with white people, man. That's his goal. That's That's his job on the internet. It's how you keep the division going. Because if everybody was standing in accordance or agreement with what's going on, now the people that don't agree, they got to be silent. That's how that works. That's why people like him so dangerous. If it's 90% of the world that's saying, yo, this need to be investigated thoroughly, the 10% ain't going to speak. You get me? But when you got people like him, you understand, who's able to garner a large audience, millions of people watch, he's able to feed that motherfucking, that 10% and turn it into a 30, you know, because it's really 30%, but 10% ain't going to say nothing. But if the 10% link up with the 20% and make it 30%, now they got a voice. Now they can continue with the nonsense, even though it don't even make sense. That's the game they play, y'all. It's the game. He's always going to be in opposition. That's why I say the black sellouts are dangerous. I don't know, y'all. If these was a group of black kids, I'm telling you what the narrative would have been. It'd have been some street shit. Yo, black people always try to uphold street codes. Where's the white people that say that now? Are these kids not upholding street codes by not saying nothing? Yo, I need to talk to some of the white conservatives, man. Are these kids upholding street culture by not saying nothing or not being honest throughout this investigation? Because if they was black, I'm telling you, that's what they'd be saying. Usual suspects. Code of silence. They're crazy. Why they not being honest with the police, man? It was thousands of people on this island, man. Probably at least 10 people on that boat. And ain't nobody see nothing. And we hear the chaos. We hear the chaos, yo, and then they try to cover it up with elevator music. They dirty as a motherfucker for that, man. But the sad reality is nobody's gonna get in trouble. And if they do, it's gonna be something minor. Like the white kid out I think that was in Texas. It was him, a juvenile and a black kid. They jumped in the water off the bridge. The black kid died. Somehow, then they covered it up. He just got charged with accessory after the fact or some shit like that, or leaving us. It was something minor. That's what they gonna hit him with, man. Cover up. Nobody gonna get charged with murder. You know, probation, 3 years. You know, some shit like that. That's how they operate, man. And it's all to feed the psyche of black people in America. You know, they got to keep reminding black people that, you know, to us, you really mean nothing. That's what they want us to believe. But, shit, I don't believe that shit. That shit crazy. Yeah, but I'm looking for an upload from Officer Tatum. Looking for an upload before the day out. And he better not say nothing nowhere close to, we don't know what we talking about, or we just want to hear what we want to hear. That shit is obvious. There was a cover-up going on. I think it was a fight.
What up, Sean?
What's up, brother? How you feeling?
Fucking busy as shit, dude.
It's hot as
Fucking
shit outside,
13
man.
today.
How the fuck you do so many calls, man? What you do Copart, though?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah, between Copart and AAA, I've been non-stop since 6 o'clock this morning.
I just died for 9 o'clock.
Well, then it was me and Derek down here for a good couple hours today.
Went from like 9 to 5. Shit just slowed up.
I figured it would. We got fucking killed this morning.
For real. Look like it, man. Look like you was fixing cars all day.
I feel like I put in like a fucking 17-hour day.
Shit. You ready to go? You ready to leave now, right?
I got those two are going to Elwood City, dropping them off, and then I got to pick a burnt one up in Pulaski and take it back to Greenville.
So you ain't gonna get on about 9.
Probably, yeah.
Damn.
And hopefully they lock my trucks back so I can have it back tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. You gotta realize, so we dealing with. Now, we dealing with kids, yo, drunk. Dealing with drunk kids, man. They could have been fighting over anything. They could have been fighting over a girl. They could have been fighting just because they drunk. It's happening in Mississippi. We dealing with white kids that's drunk. College kids. You know how them college kids is. It could have been a disagreement over everything. It could have been disagreements over something Mississippi was getting on the boat. You know what I mean? Some kids probably was trying to leave, the other ones wasn't. And then, once a fight gets started, then everybody riled up. I think that's what happened, y'all. And the one kid who we just watched, that Tatum did an interview with, he admitted that before they got on the boat, his brother was fighting. I don't think it ended right there. Nolan probably hit his head, man. Probably was fighting to hit his head. And instead of them doing the right thing, they covered it up. That's what it sounded like happened. Yeah, that's what it sounded like happened. A fight ensued. Nolan was fighting somebody. He hit his head, and they covered it up. Probably threw him in the water. Called his stepfather or uncle or grandfather, whoever he was. He told him what to do. That's why they denied the Coast Guard coming. Hold on, let me go to the whole audio. Cause she asked me, "You want me to bring the Coast Guard?" He said no. It's like 8 minutes. This shit out.
Tired of platforms that keep asking for money just to chat? We're changing the
Yeah,
game
throw
to
words
match a
in this.
message freely.
Listen to that shit. Let me go inside. You can't hear all that. Shit. They keep coming to disturb my fucking lives. From this goddamn job. I hear this shit. Get the fuck up out of here. You know? They must have nothing on the board. Everybody coming back to this bitch.
Tito assistant. Tito assistant. Tito assistant. Tito assistant. Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? All right, of course. How far is the
How the fuck they keep doing that, yo? They fucking the damn video up. Nigga doing too much. I'm trying to find the real audio.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
There's lots of people breathing on the boat.
A new audio recording from the Nolan Wells case captures the chaos on the water the day the 18-year-old disappeared off Mississippi's Horn Island. And now we're hearing the frantic distress call. The United Cajun Navy is also firing back at attorney Ben Crump over a major claim. And also there's this decision by prosecutors to keep a key piece of evidence under wraps for now that is telling a lot about where this investigation may go. I'm going to break down every new development.
Face probably can do it if they want to.
Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, we're back with a lot more that has happened since we last updated you on the case of Nolan Wells. I think the last time we updated you was when the results of that independent autopsy were released, which, by the way, came out. They couldn't rule out foul play, so it leaves Nolan's family still demanding answers. There's still, of course, the state medical examination and the toxicology reports and what will come of that. But now what do we have? We have new audio that has been released by the Mississippi
Not
Department
clear?
of
Thanks, cuz. We clear now?
Marine Resources. And it is giving us a glimpse into some of the chaos that was occurring on the water on that fateful July 4th day. One of the first pieces of audio that we're hearing from that day captures what appears to be the frantic moment as a boat that Nolan had potentially been on that day that was connected to this group began taking on water. And we've got the full call. We're going to unpack it for you. But first, just...
I need gas money, but I don't get paid until next week. What
Man.
should I do?
You gotta check out the Earn app. You can get up to one.
First, just listen to this.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
So that's what I've been talking about. That is the sound of what appears to be panic as the boat was taking on water. But there is one thing that we're trying to figure out. Where was Nolan Wells? Where was Nolan Wells when that was happening? Was he on the boat? Was he already off the island? We don't know. It's one of the many gaps that we're still trying to piece together in the timeline. And what we're hearing is just one piece of this overarching puzzle. Nolan's friends are talking now. We're going to tell you what they said in these interviews. The United Cajun Navy, that was part of the search efforts for Nolan, they are firing back at attorney Ben Crump, who's representing Nolan Wells' family right now. They are disputing a key detail and making a shocking claim about what they've actually discussed, or rather, what they haven't discussed. The DA, the district attorney, is planning a move that's going to change when we'll get a look at the results of the state's autopsy. So a lot is happening. I want to get into it all. But first, let me just make sure everybody's on the same page with this if you haven't been following the case from the beginning. So we're talking about 18-year-old Nolan Wells. He was from Ocean Spring, Mississippi. He was a college student, football player. On the 4th of July, he went with a group of friends to Horn Island. It's a barrier island off the Mississippi coast. It's really isolated. There's no like commercial developments or anything like that. Going there to celebrate. At some point, he disappeared. He was reported missing that night. A massive search was launched. And then 2 days later, on July 6th, his body was found on the island. But what happened to him? That remains the central question. That remains a question that nobody, at least publicly, can seem to answer or has answered. The results of the family's independent autopsy listed Nolan's cause and manner of death as undetermined. And remember, the family seemingly being distrustful of law enforcement or suspicious or maybe critical that the first impressions of what happened to Nolan were there were no signs of foul play, this seemed to be accidental drowning. They seemed to want more answers or a second opinion, so they hired Ben Crump. They ordered an independent autopsy. And this pathologist found that pieces of Nolan's body, we're talking portions of his neck, throat, had been removed by the state medical examiner, because the state medical examiner did the first autopsy. Again, we don't have the results. So it's been removed by the state medical examiner before this second autopsy could be done. So this second pathologist couldn't determine whether there was in fact injury or trauma to the neck. And that leaves many questions still on the table. It raises a question, if the state ME is doing further testing of those components, can the state ME definitively conclude there was trauma, that this was drowning?
I think it's obvious what's going on. I want to see how the case progress over the next at least it should be couple hours, but I'm gonna say couple days. It's hard to believe anything is going to become of this because they've been had this audio. Man, this one of them, another one of them situations where you dealing with a black family that don't realize that you a black family surrounded by white people. You know, a lot of times motherfuckers be in that lifestyle or be in that community for so long, they start actually feeling like we are one. You feel me? Similar to what's the case? Um 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 what is it? Carmelo Anthony? Yeah, similar to the Carmelo Anthony situation. You gotta realize that yo, if you're a black family yo, and you're not in a black community, and your kids got white friends, it's key that you gotta teach them the difference, man. Yeah, Bart sounds like he was the one that played the role in it. That's why he said, "Damn it, Bart." That shit crazy. It's fucked up. It's even sickening that you got people like um the Tatum dude. Like, are you doing? Like, I just don't understand how them type of niggas sleep at night. I mean, like, how the fuck do you? Like, how the fuck do you go for? Like, how do you just continuously go against your own community? Now, right is right and wrong is wrong. Yo, but continuously, every situation, you just go against your own people. Like, yo, that's vicious, y'all. That's a wild. He couldn't even be my family in real life. That nigga will not be invited to nothing. Like, oh, you keep that bullshit you doing over there, bro. Cause a lot of times, what it do? A lot of times, yo, the guys that be moving like this, they don't need to be believing that shit. And they only doing it, you know, for monetary gain. But it's like, yo, either they don't care or they don't understand that you are doing a serious disservice to everybody. Not even just your own people, to everybody. You got the people that want to believe the lie. You helping them dwell in delusion. You feel me? And the people that know you lying, they just looking at you crazy. You feel me? Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this guy's obviously grifting. He's obviously playing a character. He's obviously on this internet to fill a void. You know, I don't know. I can't fuck with it. I think he's a wild ass nigga, for real. But let me see the fuck going on at work. Y'all been live for an hour. Make sure I hit that like button. Make sure you share the live. We're gonna keep updated. Like I said, I ain't want to talk too much on this until I got something substantial. I didn't really cover the autopsy because I think it just left us more questions. I think this audio gets us a little bit more closer to some answers than probably anything that we have seen thus far. Yeah, he probably the police, man. He been on the internet long as shit. A lot of them niggas been on the internet for all that long. You know, they was the first. I mean, he is the police. Nigga also Tatum, but I think he like still working, probably like CIA or something. But yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's another day. Keep it your news, and I'm out.